Hi Virgo, welcome to your mid-August 2020 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here. I've already done Leo's reading and I dug out my Rider-Waite deck, which is how it all began with me. Although this is not the original deck that I used when I first started this. But, you know, it's kind of fun to go back to basics. And if you're starting out with reading tarot cards, I highly recommend a Rider-Waite type of deck because you'll be able to see very clearly what each card represents, even if you still have to refer to the booklet. Okay. Well, we definitely have transition cards here. Wow. And this makes a lot of sense because August is the month when the sun is in Leo for you, Virgo, where the sun is in your 12th house. So it's really about wrapping up business. And it's funny that I got this as the past position, but you could really say it's the current position too. Excuse me. The World card as the past position is about ending a cycle. And when you have your solar return in late August, and specifically when it's your actual birthday or the exact degree of your birthday, or degree of your sun sign or your rising sign, that will be when it really is your solar return, but in general, it'll be like around August 22nd, when the sun goes into your sign. But so that's going to be true every year, but the fact that I drew that card really goes along with that. So it's really about ending a chapter in your life. Now, for some people, this may be literal graduation because this card can represent that. It can also be about travel, like coming back from travel. And maybe this has caused you to see the world differently. Of course, travel, I think, has been restricted, but perhaps it's loosening up. I'm not quite sure the status right now. So this may be more of a ending of a chapter in your life. Now, obviously, we have the Judgment card on the top right, so is it possible that it could be something connected to divorce or some other legal judgment, I suppose. Let me just speak about the heart of the matter, which is the Ace of Swords, and this tends to be, you see that the person's hand is illuminated, you know, there's like light kind of like coming out of his hand or her hand or whoever's hand, because it's all about seeing the light. And even those leaves on there, I have, or you know, whatever you want to call them, my Morgan Greer deck, I think it shows the person kind of like pushing the sword from the swamp. So I wonder if that is kind of what that is algae, you know. And basically meaning that sense of the murkiness, in some cases denial, or just refusal to see things as they really are that could be in play when people are finding out something. So coming out of a sense of denial over something, or confusion even, and being able to, you know how when you maybe have been kind of vacillating between two things and you finally come to a decision because you think of something, some aspect of that decision that you hadn't thought of before, and then that just sells you on it and you just click, and there's a feeling of relief because you know you're making the right decision. It could even be buying something on Amazon, you know, as silly as that, but you just really like say, yeah, that is the missing piece here, and this is going to make my decision so much easier. So that might be all connected as well, where it's almost like, let's say that this is about divorce. It's almost like having a divorce and maybe you didn't even instigate it. And then after the fact, you start to really see, oh yeah, all along this person was was talking down to me and all this stuff. This is actually a blessing in disguise, and you can frame it differently too. That's the good thing. And move ahead. See, that's the main thing, because this is an ace, so it's about talking about new beginnings. So isn't that interesting? We have the world and then we have new beginnings. Also seeing things in a different way. And then the higher message is a judgment card, which is a card about rebirth. And really, it's another card, if you have instigated a very difficult decision too, this can be a card of nobody can judge you but God, and God doesn't judge you. That nobody has that right, and they don't even have the ability to judge you. They may think they do, but they don't. So that you feel this sense of like, it doesn't matter what they think. And that frees you, in a sense, And also, another thing I want to say about the Judgment card that is very, very important is that it's a card of karma, and karma simply meaning cause and effect. And this is a very important piece by talking about cause and effect, because a lot of people see karma as punishment. And it's really about cause and effect. And so in the case of a relationship that fails, a marriage that fails, or we don't even have to say fails, that ends, that even if you were the one who asked for a divorce, or if you were living with somebody and you left that relationship, it wasn't because you're just being selfish. It was because there were just too many instances where the other person didn't think of you first. They were just thinking about themselves. Virgos are some of the most giving people, and so if a Virgo person gets fed up with something, it's got to be pretty bad. That's my theory. What crosses you is the Knight of Wands, and this can be somebody who is a Lothario, a womanizer, a kind of a player type of individual. Actually, this card, I think, is connected to Sagittarius. Definitely is a fiery kind of an individual. I personally think of it connected to Aries, because I think of it as the warrior. But this can be somebody who is very charismatic and very, very enticing. But it's like, this is the kind of person who may catch your eye. This may be your type, and yet it is creating a pattern in your life that is very problematic. So you have to look at it from your point of view, if this is a relationship issue, of like, what is it that you're seeking that person is providing, but how does it end up being very chaotic in your life, a chaotic influence. Whereas you might see somebody, if you're attracted to like these types of people, and you see somebody who is an earth sign is too boring, or a water sign is too, tame, and, that kind of thing, that may create a lot of conflict, because you're really like the kind of person that likes to have order and, that kind of organized life. You don't want something that's like crazy, but You might have that part of yourself that craves excitement, and you can generate that kind of passion yourself, but this is more drama than passion. Another thing too is that if you have ended a very difficult chapter in your life, you may feel like you've been let loose, and you just want to kind of play the field if you're talking about relationships, or if this is connected to college and it's been a very difficult time, just even getting that diploma, and now you just want to have fun, not to go from one extreme to the other, in other words, so that it's not just very haphazard. You can have adventure without having that kind of chaotic experience. What is coming in is represented by the Ace of Cups, definitely going along with relationship issues and new beginnings, falling in love with somebody. Yes, I'm just thinking astrologically, because I feel like this is something connected to that, and definitely there is a situation that is happening where you have a lot going on in the 5th house, which is a house of romance, because that is Capricorn for you, Virgo. And there was recently a lunar eclipse here, and that might have been what led to some of the Ace of Swords. Maybe you saw a person's deception, and that made it easy to leave. It was able to cut off that emotion because you realize that it's not good for you. Because lunar eclipses can take things out very effortlessly. In other words, you don't have to really, excuse me, exert a lot of energy with it. This can be a situation where you have, maybe there's somebody who you already were interested in, you've already been talking to, and now you're free because you're, the World card is like you have closed that chapter. One thing I want to let you know is that Pisces, your opposite sign, so we're talking about the 7th house for you, there's going to be a full moon here on September 2nd. So this may all go along with that for some people, where they are ending along a committed relationship. I always want to say long-term, but it doesn't even have to be long-term, just something that is a more well-defined relationship, and maybe seeing the light. So some of these, sometimes people tell me, oh, this exact reading is something I experienced a year ago, which is always kind of weird, kind of cool weird, but still weird the same, that time is an illusion. And so we can be looking at a situation and thinking that it's going to happen in the future, and it already happened, It's so wild. And the outcome is the Page of Wands. So we have Ace of Cups and Page of Wands. Now, aces and pages can both signify the starting or the infancy of a situation. But wands, because they're fire, are much more passionate than just simply emotional. So we have both of these elements of water and fire that do involve the emotions. Now, is the Ace of Cups suggesting a relationship with a water sign? That would be Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio individual. Page of Wands would be that whoever this person is, that you feel so good about this. This is a card of good news, of spreading the good news, of receiving good news about something. So whether that message that makes you happy is receiving a legal judgment to end an unhappy marriage, or if it is simply communicating with this person that you love, that you are in love with now. I don't know. But it's like interesting that we have at the top left the World card suggesting endings, and then we have this page, the two bottom cards are the beginnings, and even the card is a centerpiece, another Ace of Swords. But it all begins, because Swords is the mind, it all begins with realizing something. And that kind of sets everything in motion, and you're able to experience the joy that you deserve. Because Virgos are good people. Okay, that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like an astrological reading or any other type of reading, please check out what I have to offer. I do have a special going on right now, which are 2 full-length readings in one, called the Whole Enchilada, and they're at a special price. And I was just going to make a joke that a Virgo person can, crunch the numbers, and you'll see what I mean. But in any case, the information is at the link below. I hope you have a great. I'm going to be back at for the end of August, but I hope you have a great next week or 10 days. Take care. Bye.